Zomato just changed their name to Eternal. Now, this rebrand will only affect the holding company. Zomato, their food delivery business, will continue as it is, but their main website will soon switch from Zomato.com to Eternal.com, and their stock ticker will also change to Eternal. Welcome to our weekly Indian startup news show here at Backstage with Millionaires. I'm Caleb Friesen, your host, and now let's dive into what exactly Eternal is. So it's basically a new umbrella that houses all of Zomato's and now Eternal's key businesses. Zomato, Blinkit, District, and Hyperpure. But why the sudden name change? Well, it's actually not that sudden. Deepinder Goyal explained in a letter to investors that Zomato was never meant to be a company. It was an accidental business. It started from his simple desire to serve, and then over time, it became something much bigger. And after acquiring Blinkit, they actually started using the name Eternal internally to separate the brand from the company. And here's the key part. Deepinder said that they would only go public with the new name when something other than Zomato became a major driver of their growth. And with Blinkit's rapid expansion, that moment has arrived. Okay, now let's shift gears here for a second because there's more going on at this company than just a name change. I don't know if you remember this viral Zomato job posting where Deepinder Goyal asked candidates to pay 20 lakh rupees for a chief of staff role instead of receiving a salary. Well, despite the backlash, this actually led to 18,000 applications, and now there's 18 new hires and 12 additional job offers across the company. And Deepinder has shared on X, he's clarified that none of these new employees had to pay anything and are in fact being well compensated for their value. And among them are startup founders, engineers who rebuilt entire tech stacks over a weekend, and operators who turned chaos into scale. Even fresh college graduates made the cut, people Zomato believes will help them to shape its future. But this hiring push isn't over yet. Zomato is still reviewing applications, and the company is treating this as an ongoing investment in leadership rather than just a one-time hiring round. And it's coming at a crucial time for the company as they're continuing to expand and also integrating Blinkit into their operations. All right, next up, at Backstage with Millionaires, we've been dedicated to empowering entrepreneurs over the last 6 years. And during this journey, we've observed a significant gap between service providers and service seekers in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. And a major reason behind this gap is the lack of trust in service providers. And one of the first challenges that entrepreneurs face is finding reliable partners to register their companies or manage their legal and financial needs. And so to address this gap and add value to the ecosystem, we're excited to announce the launch of a platform designed to help entrepreneurs register their businesses and handle financial and legal compliances effortlessly. We've assembled a team of highly qualified and experienced CAs and lawyers who are equipped to assist your business from its very inception. So whether you're looking for company registration, regulatory compliances, GST registration and filing, founders or shareholders agreements, legal documentation for fundraising, we've got you covered. So if you're an entrepreneur in need of any of these services, simply fill out the Google form linked down below with a few details about your requirements, and our team will get in touch with you at the earliest. So let's work together to make your entrepreneurial journey smoother and more successful. All right, next up in the news, last week, Bhavish Aggarwal declared that India can't be left behind in AI. And this week, he's backing that statement up with action, launching Krutrim AI Labs, an ambitious project aimed to build India's AI ecosystem while also creating the world's largest open source AI platform. Bhavish is committing 2,000 crore rupees to Krutrim to turn this vision into a reality, and even plans to increase this investment to 10,000 crore rupees by next year. And he's not wasting any time either. Krutrim has already open sourced Krutrim 1, their first LLM, and Krutrim 2, a 12 billion parameter Indic LLM. Now, according to Krutrim's website, Krutrim 2 is built on the Mistral Nemo architecture, so this has sparked debate over whether it's a foundational model or just a fine-tuned version, but let's put that aside for now and just focus on what Krutrim is actually doing. Now, Bhavish himself admits that Krutrim isn't close to global benchmarks yet, but in just 1 year, they have made significant progress, and with their models now open source, the goal is to establish a world-class AI ecosystem in India. But LLMs aren't the only thing Krutrim is working on. They've also launched Shitarth, a vision language model that understands images and documents, and Duhani, a speech language model for English Indic translations. There's also Krutrim Translate, a text-to-text translation tool for English and Indic languages. And then on top of that, Krutrim has also partnered with NVIDIA to deploy India's first GB200 supercomputer by March, which Bhavish wants to turn into India's largest supercomputer by the end of the year. So I'm curious to know from you all, do you think that Bhavish can pull off India's DeepSeek moment, or is it going to be somebody else? Now, speaking of competition, Sam Altman is back in India, and this time his message is completely different. A year and a half ago, he kind of in a roundabout way dismissed Indian startups trying to build foundational AI models, but now he says that India should be a leader in the AI revolution. During his visit, Altman praised India's rapid AI adoption and the innovative ways that it's being used on top of existing large language models, but behind closed doors, he also met with Indian startup founders to discuss a major challenge, the high price of ChatGPT. Now, nothing has been finalized yet, but there are talks about potentially making ChatGPT more affordable for Indian users to accelerate mass adoption. But Altman wasn't the only one making big statements this week. India's IT minister also laid out the country's ambitious AI roadmap, covering all 3 layers of development. At the hardware level, India is working on its own GPU, expected within the next 3 to 5 years, and the plan here is to build on open source or licensed chipsets, just like global tech leaders have done in the past. Then at the foundational AI level, India is teaming up with OpenAI to develop advanced AI models. And then at the application layer, the focus is on building specialized data sets to train large language models with an Indian context. But his biggest short-term announcement was actually about India launching its own foundational AI platform within the next 10 months. All right, next up in the news, Ola Electric is back on top in the electric two-wheeler market, reclaiming the #1 spot with a 25% market share in January. And that's after slipping behind TVS and Bajaj in December. Ola sold 24,330 electric scooters in January, slightly ahead of TVS, which moved to 23,788 units, and Bajaj, which sold 21,294 scooters. Ola Electric credits their strong comeback to their growing S1 scooter lineup and an expanded sales and service network. And the company is currently operating more than 4,000 stores across the country, but they're also looking beyond scooters now. Ola Electric launched their first electric motorcycle, the Roadster X, which starts at 74,999 rupees, and the top variant comes with a 9.1 kilowatt-hour battery, offering a range of 501 kilometers on a single charge, and it can hit a top speed of 125 kilometers per hour. Bhavish Aggarwal has also promised to launch new products every single month, and Ola's latest battery tech is designed for efficiency using fewer wires and supporting next-gen Bharat cells, which could mean even greater range and performance in the future. All right, next up in the news, Swiggy has just posted a massive 800 crore rupee loss for Q3 of FY25, a sharp jump from 574 crore rupees a year ago. And their biggest culprit is Instamart. Swiggy's quick commerce arm alone contributed 528 crore rupees to those losses. But instead of slowing down, they're actually doubling down. Marketing expenses shot up by 65% to 751 crore rupees in Q3 of FY25, compared to 454 crore rupees in Q3 of FY24. And with competitors like Zepto and Blinkit planning to scale up to 1,200 and 2,000 dark stores by the end of 2025, Swiggy is pushing ahead too. They're aiming to expand from 600 to 1,000 dark stores by March of 2025. But here's the worrying part. Despite all of this spending, Instamart's daily orders per dark store has actually declined by 6.7%, their first drop since 2023. Meanwhile, Swiggy's core food delivery business is seeing some growth, with a 21% revenue jump year over year to 1,860 crore rupees in Q3 of FY25. But even then, Zomato is ahead, clocking 2,413 crore rupees in revenue in Q3 of FY25. All right, now let's move into the funding news segment for today's video. This week, Indian startups raised a total of $74 million, which is lower than last week's $185 million, and it's also well below the trend line. But now let's take a look at some of the companies that have raised funds this week. The first one I want to talk about here is Bengaluru-based payments processing company Cash-Free Payments, and they raised $53 million in their Series C round, valuing the company at $700 million. Following that, we have Gurugram-based Hair Originals, a company that some of you might remember from Shark Tank India Season 1, and they offer premium hair extension solutions to their customers, and they've raised $5 million in their Series A round. After that, we have a Bengaluru-based company called Presentations.ai, which turns your simple PowerPoint presentations into dynamic presentations with personalized designs using AI, and they've raised $3 million in their seed round. Next, we have Big Little Bay's Quick Lend, which basically lets you instantly borrow money against your mutual funds, and they've raised 6.75 crore rupees in their pre-seed round. And then finally, we have Pune-based gaming studio Super Gaming, and they make games like Indus Battle Royale, which was launched less than a year ago and now has more than 5 million downloads, and they've raised an undisclosed amount of funds in their latest round. All right, that is all the Indian startup news that I have for you all this week. I really hope that you enjoyed the video, but until next time, I'm Caleb Friesen, and this has been Backstage with Millionaires. I'll catch you in the next one.